Hi guys, I'm Mary Matthews, and this is a very impromptu video, very impromptu video. So I'm doing this video in honor of a book that I authored. We'll be launching, let's say in about a month, we'll be launching with our physical copies, and I just wanted to do a video. I just wanted to sit down and do a video. It's not really planned, but so basically the aim of this video, right, is more on let's get to know the author, if we to put it like that, and I hope in us doing that, in us sitting down and having that conversation, we get to understand as to why this book had to be written. Yeah, in hopes that you get to have that background concept and that background perspective as to why I had to sit down and write this book. So I wrote a book titled Making the Most of Your 20s, subtitled Turn Your 20s into a Launchpad for an Unstoppable Life, which is practically a transformative guide for ambitious young women who want to live powerful and intentional lives early. And in the beginning pages, in the introduction, we explore things such as the theory of neuroplasticity, compounding, the urgency of network integration, as to explain the urgency of the current moment. And I remember sitting down on my laptop to type my first few pages, or what actually led me to sit on my laptop and start typing my first pages of the book. It's something that I will say is it's an unshakable view, more like an X-ray vision superpower that just can't seem to escape me, or that I just can't seem to escape. And that is the confrontation basically of the vast capacity and potential that I see in women around me and people around me. I see the depth of your potential and the boundless ability you have to create a life of impact, and one that is unique to your purpose, starting now. And that is how the first page questions started. Like I said, this video was very much impromptu. I asked ChatGPT to give me a few questions that might assist you in getting to know me a little bit, might help you grasp the concept as to why I had to sit down and write this book. And the question is, who are you beyond your title as an author? Right, so beyond my title as an author, I am in the medical field. I've also founded a civil society organization called Becoming Health Namibia, which focuses on primary healthcare initiatives as well as a goal of health systems strengthening. And we're really doing some amazing stuff with some of our projects, such as Project HealthGen. I am also serving at local regional level under a health department as a CDC member. I am also serving at a regional office under a health and social infrastructure department, and I am also serving on a national health task force. And you see me smiling because this is the biggest honor. And another thing, I'm into politics. I've been in politics since age 11. I've held some structures from that age, and politics is basically what I know. It's what I grew up in. You can't separate me and politics. We're like this. So yeah. Well, the next question is, how would your younger self describe you? See, here's the thing. Number one, I'm nowhere close to where I want to be at. There's a huge gap. There's so much work to do still. But at the same time, I get to sit in rooms, I get to sit at tables that I belong at. And I say that because for the longest time, I've had to sort of fight or resist with imposter syndrome. I get to sit at tables that I belong at, and a 13-year-old grade 7 me would applaud that we achieved what we wrote on that paper, that we posted on the door, on my room door. So I always wrote down certain things that I wanted to do. I'll speak them over myself, declare them or speak them over myself. So 13-year-old grade 7 me would applaud that we achieved those things that we wrote on that paper that we posted on that door. I will say that 13-year-old me will be very proud that we became that woman that stepped out of her bubble and stepped into roles of leadership. And the other question that ChatGPT gave, and maybe, sorry guys, I might have to end the video. I'm really running late for church, and I'm afraid I'm not gonna come back and sit down and continue this video. But the other question is, what does success look to you? And this is my own personal definition of what success looks to me. Okay, so hi guys, I'm back from church. I'm not in the same place that I was sitting in, and I didn't want to leave the question that I was busy answering unanswered. So I decided, let me just do a continuation back this side or in this new place, right? So how does success look like to me? I will say that I am a very, very, very big believer of what I would like to call innate potential. I'm a very, very, very big believer of what I would like to call purpose, and I tie down that definition of success really to those two terms. And what I mean by innate potential, really, if we're to define it in short or maybe in long, is more to say it is sort of the inherent evolving capacity within each person that is waiting to be developed for personal and collective good. I would like to call it as a reservoir, if I'm saying it right, as a reservoir of untapped abilities and possibilities that are ready to surface. And I mean, an analogy that I can give, we have a lot of analogies, or there's a lot of things around us that we can use as an analogy. For example, if you consider the world around you, right, or even just, for example, let's say the chair that you're sitting on, the solid finished wooden chair you sit on, of course, began as a tree, right? Began as a tree, and that tree also began as a dormant, unassuming seed, for instance, right, holding a universe of potential within its tiny shell. And then another example I would like to give is I'm also quite mesmerized with crude oil. And of course, crude oil is a fossil fuel that is storing immense chemical energy from ancient organic matter, and of course in its raw state it isn't useful. It needs to be refined into the various fractions that is used for now various purposes, right? And of course, in order for that to be achieved, it has to go through a lot of processes, such as distillations, such as cracking or reforming or hydrotreating, etc. But this chemical energy that is stored within crude oil, once it turns kinetic, has the power to power the transportation that we use, to electricity generation, heating, and the production of numerous everyday products. And it's all within it, just waiting to be unleashed. Another example that I also like, of course, a girl's best friend, which is a diamond. Yes, a diamond is something that we consider to be valuable, but if you think about where it comes from, right? So when it first reaches now, for example, the surface, cradled in the rough volcanic rock of kimberlite, it is profoundly unimpressive. It is rough for a reason. It is dull, it's cloudy. You can probably also just mistake it for a worthless pebble. And I would like to tie it down to an example of like an apple seed, or the crude oil, or the rough diamond. So are we. Everything has potential, and this is really an observable law of existence. And the reason why I mention these analogies is because it's very important to understand, and this might come off a bit rough, but sometimes the way we define success, right, might be a little bit wrong, because sometimes we have no business being successful in things we have no business being successful in. I give you an example of an apple seed, right? An apple seed is meant to grow, become an apple tree, and produce apple fruits. You don't find an apple seed wanting to become an orange tree. You don't find an orange tree wanting to produce bananas. Because why? The apple seed capitalizing on the stored inherent potential within itself to become an apple tree is what makes it a success. If an apple tree grows to become a big, huge apple tree but doesn't produce apples, we sort of consider that to be a fail, because an apple tree is meant to produce apple fruits, right? So why are you not producing apple fruits? Like why? So I had to give such a long analogy to explain as to how I understand success, but that's what success means to me.